comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I'm sitting here on a sweltering day in Sydney, New South Wales, 38 degrees. The area underneath my breasts are moist. That little area around my collarbone, wet. I feel uncomfortable and I can't turn the fan on because it will come out in the audio. But we have got to be coming to the end of summer. I'm so fucking over summer now. I'm looking forward to some cool fucking weather again. I swear to God, it's just felt like I've been sweating for a month since I got back. I had a packed day today, went down to the gym, didn't go to jiu-jitsu this morning because I couldn't find my mouth guard. I did jits last Thursday. I did like 5 rounds of jits with no mouth guard, and it's sketchy as fuck. The day before, I got a fucking heel from a black belt directly in my front teeth, like a full fucking back heel, as he was arm barring the shit out of me. This black belt takes no fucking prisoners. He doesn't fuck around. He gets you in a position and then he tries to break your arm. It's not fun. And he caught me in the teeth. So I fucking didn't want to go down to jiu-jitsu this morning without a fucking mouth guard. It's too fucking much. So I was like, I'll have a little sleep in and I'll go down to the gym. And so I went down to the gym and pumped some iron. I've got this new workout routine. It's fucking so sweet because I went with Dino, I think last week or the week before, and he basically changed my whole perspective on fucking working out. He's like, if you're doing the upper body, all you really need to do is a press, a pull, a push, and a whatever it is, a chin up type thing. They're your meat and potatoes at the gym for upper body. You just do those 4 things, like 3 or 4 sets of them, like 4 sets of bench press, 4 sets of chin ups or pull ups, 4 sets of shoulder presses, and 4 sets of like a seated row. He's like, that's it. That's your main shit. That's your meat and potato. That's what's going to get you fucking going. They're your big muscle areas. And then anything after that is just fucking isolating smaller muscles. So you really don't even need to do that much after that. If you do those 4 things, you can do that in half an hour, 45 minutes. But you want to do more than that anyway. Once you've done the 4 things, you're like, oh, I might as well fucking throw a couple of other things in there. And it doesn't really matter what you throw in there. Some fucking lat raises, some fucking bicep curls, some triceps, whatevers. You just fucking wing it after that, and it's a bada bing, a bada fucking boom. The Boyle is built like a brick shithouse. Anyway, I did that. I did more than those 4 things because you're psyched. You're like, I fucking smashed those 4 things. Now let's fucking throw in some real easy shit. Some real lightweight easy shit to pretend I'm doing something. But I got back and we sparked up the Oppression Chamber again. The Oppression Chamber podcast will be our Wednesday. And we're doing it weekly now. There's going to be 1 a week. No excuses. It's fucking do or die now. I said to the boys, this is our final push. If we can't get 1 out a week, then I don't have the fucking time to be worried about it once a month or whenever the fuck we feel like putting it out. We take it serious or I don't do it at all. That's the way I fucking operate now. I'm very professional. I'm heading down to Melbourne in 3 weeks for a wedding. Comedian Mark Oshka and comedian Karen Story. If you're an Oppression Chamber aficionado, you know who those 2 cunts are. Well, they're getting married. And I'm heading down to the wedding, so we'll be doing a few podcasts down there. I wanted to throw in a live podcast, but as Dor pointed out, we did the live podcast and then we released 1 episode and... and we never released the live episode, and then we're going straight to another live episode. It doesn't seem right. Anyway, I'll be down in Melbourne on the 23rd. So yeah, I fucking really want to talk about John Bones Jones, the fucking greatest mixed martial artist of all time. But what is there to say? He fucking annihilated Cyril Gane, or Gain, 2.5 minutes. Cyril Gain just doesn't have the heart of a champion. You can see he's not fucking up for it. John Bones Jones looks like a fucking psycho. He talks like an absolute fucking psychopath. Even in his press conference afterwards, you're like, this guy is a fucking killer. He's fucking scary. Sometimes I think about these MMA fighters and I'm like, imagine back in the gladiator days, like you get thrown into the Colosseum with some fucking gladiator. But how good are those gladiators really? I feel like a farmer still had like a percentage chance of beating one of those gladiators. Like a 10-15% chance. Some fucking farmer, like tough farmer, could fight off a gladiator. But imagine John Bones Jones in the Colosseum and you walk out there and you've got to fucking fight that cunt. You've got to find a way to kill John Bones Jones before he kills you. And you're just some farmer off the paddock. Like, if I walked into a cage now with John Bones Jones and it's a fight to the death, the likelihood I'm the cunt that walks out alive is like 0.0000001%. The only chance I've got is if somehow I can get to his eyes and fucking try and gouge them out, kick him in the balls as hard as I can for like 10 full kicks. I still think he'll beat me. I still think if I went into the cage with a blind fucking John Jones who has just been smashed with a baseball bat in his fucking nuts, I would still have to get close enough to him to fucking put him out. And once I get close enough to him, if he grabs me, I'm dead. Like, it's pretty wild to think that John Bones Jones is probably the greatest hand-to-hand fighter in the history of humanity. Like, if you put him in a cage with anyone in history, he's probably walking out alive. That's fucking wild. Anyway, I didn't have enough time to talk about it, so I talked about it for 5 minutes. Now I've got to get to the fucking point of today. It's Monday, you know what that means. It's Ask Boyle time. So if any of you listeners out there have a question that's been bugging you, a dilemma that you just can't fucking seem to figure out, or fucking whatever, then send it in to one of the greatest minds of the generation, comedian, philosopher, craney, Le Boyale. Head to my website. There's a section there for Ask Boyles. Put in your details, write it in, and I'll get to it. Or you can use the drunk dial feature on the website and record your question, and I'll play it on the podcast. Anyway, let's get to this week's question. So this week's question was sent in by my man fucking Patrick. Just straight up Patrick. He's over there in the US of A, and this is what Patrick has asked. I would like to know what you think of Bluey, the kids show. Do adults in Australia love it as much as the ones here in the USA? Also, they had an episode where the dad says to Bluey that he blew off in her face. First, that's the greatest line in kids show. Second, is that how Australians say fart? Blew off? Well, Paddy Rick, you have come to the right place. Yes, Bluey is one of the fucking best kids cartoons going around. It was both my son and my daughter's favorite show. I watched it for about 3 or 4 years before I realized Bluey was a fucking girl. Who names a girl dog Bluey? That's insanity. Blue is a gendered color. Don't fucking try and mix it up. Blue is a boy's color and pink is a girl's color. That's just the way it is. Bluey should have been a boy. Maybe Bluey's trans. Maybe that's what's going on. But I got into an argument with my son when he was like 3 or 4. He was like, Bluey's a girl. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Bluey's a boy. He's like, no, Bluey's a girl. I'm like, no, the other one's a girl. His sister's a girl. He's like, no, Bluey's a girl. I'm like, blue is a boy's color. And then I watched and yeah, Bluey's a fucking girl. And I had to apologize to my 3-year-old son. I'm like, sorry, mate. Sorry. Dad rarely makes mistakes. Very rarely makes mistakes, but this is one of them. So yeah, everyone with kids fucking loves Bluey. And blew off, yeah, people do say that, but it's more like kids who say blew off. And blew off does mean fart. He blew off. He blew one off. I haven't heard that in a long time, to be fair. That's more like kid talk. He blew one off. Did you blow one off? You generally would say blew one off. He blew off. He blew off. Yeah, you blew one off. Anyway, regardless, it's not a commonly used word, but it does mean fart to like grade 3s and 4s. Just one last thing with fucking Bluey. I got told this only like 3 days ago. My mate Dave Rose, autistic comedian Dave Rose, he was doing some shows up in Queensland over the weekend, and because he wasn't selling too many tickets, he decided to go on either Reddit or something and gave out a bunch of tickets for free. And then at the show, he was speaking to someone in the crowd and asked them what they do. And the dude was like, "Oh, I'm retired." And Dave Rose kept on probing. He's like, "What do you do? What do you do?" Anyway, the guy relented. He's like, "Oh, I created Bluey. So, yeah, I'm retired. I've got all that Bluey money." And then Dave Rose was like, "Did you pay for the ticket?" And he's like, "Nah, I got it free." You got the free ticket. That cunt must have close to $500 million. That cunt must be so fucking loaded. It's insane. And he got a fucking free ticket to a fucking autistic comedian's show. You can take the boy out of Queensland, but you can't take the Queensland out of the boy. Anyway, that's all the Bluey. Did I answer the question? Yeah, people love Bluey. I wish I had fucking gone into cartooning instead of fucking comedy. Anyway, that'll do for today. If you're enjoying the podcast, give it a share around, and I'll see you the fuck later.